Hey y'all, welcome to my channel and welcome to the series called Mental Health Miss. If you don't know me, my name is Adiola Quintero. I am a marriage and family therapist candidate pursuing licensure. I'm also an avid book reader. I'm obsessed with reality TV shows, especially the dating ones. And I love The Office. Me and my husband are obsessed with it. So before I dive in, I just want to preface this video by saying, if you do need a mental health professional to help you navigate the challenges that you're going through, I highly suggest getting in touch with one. A couple of platforms I would suggest are Psychology Today, Therapy Den, and Therapy for Black Girls. You can Google any of those and look up a licensed therapist in your area. Anything that you gain from these videos is amazing. At the same time, don't try to diagnose yourself and always seek professional help. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about negative mindsets. So I want to start this by saying, how many times has one thought, one negative thought, ruined your entire day? How many times has one thought, whether that's, oh, I'm having a good day, and then, man, like, you might feel bloated from eating, and then you might be like, oh, I'm bloated from eating. Oh, gosh, I'm so fat. Oh my gosh. And it slowly starts to spiral, right? You might know that feeling, right? Where it starts off as a little thought of, I feel a certain way. And then what happens is we attach a story to that thought about who we are or how the world views us. That might be, I'm undesirable. That might be, I'm not attractive or appealing. That might be, my worth, I'm not as exciting to be around as other people. And that can be triggered by anything. We have thousands of thoughts a day, some positive, some negative, some neutral. And what tends to happen is, because we are meaning-making creatures, we attach meaning to everything, right? As I'm sitting here making this video, what am I attaching to this video and meaning-making is that, oh my gosh, I'm a young therapist in the field and I'm hoping to really connect with people and give them maybe more of something to look for that's going to be healthy and help them build their relationships. Do I know if this video is going to be helpful for every single person I come across? I'm not sure, but my hope and the meaning that I attach to it is, yeah, heck yes, it will. And so when it comes to our thoughts, right, and it comes to the stories that we attach to them, it's easier for us to focus in on and dwell on the negative thoughts. You're probably wondering, why is it so easy to focus on the negative thoughts if we have maybe just as many positive thoughts a day? Because we are meaning-making creatures, and we're also designed, just biology, right? We're hardwired to assess for threat. So what that means is, way back, when the first humans were around, and they're like, yeah, looking around, everything looks good. And then, oh no, there's a tiger. And oh my gosh, now we're on alert. Now oh no, that tiger chomped off my cousin's arm. Now we always got to be aware a tiger could come and chomp off any of our arms. So we have to be on alert. Our brains are now hardwired to assess for threat. Anything that feels like it's going to hurt us, damage us in any way, or kill us. It's a very real feeling that we feel. And as we have advanced through time, right, we've lessened the amount of exposure that we have to threats. We live in houses now with a front door that you can lock. So it's very highly unlikely that you will find a tiger just sitting in your living room, unless you didn't lock your door. But our brains are still hardwired to think that way, to assess for threat, because threat still does exist, right? And so it's like this. This is the brain. This is our brain. This is our prefrontal cortex, which is this part of our brain. And this is our logic center. This is where I'm talking to you from right now. I'm using my logic, reasoning. I'm pretty calm. I'm pretty relaxed. If I was to check my heart rate on my watch, pretty relaxed. If I start to feel threatened, maybe a little anxious about something, maybe a little scared, what happens is, boom, oh my gosh, that part of my brain's not functioning right now. Now I'm back here, which is back here in your brain's the limbic system. And that is your emotion center, right? That is where oh my gosh, you start to feel the feels and emotions just take over. So when we are assessing for threat and we start feeling, oh my gosh, anxiety or tension or something that's coming our way, we're no longer using our logic because that's not helpful in the situation. What's helpful is, oh my gosh, I need to get out of here. It's fight or flight. I'm either going to get ready to throw down or I'm out of that joint, right? Or I'm going to freeze and pretend that, they don't see me. Maybe they won't see me. So those are our three responses. What happens when we have a negative thought? We have that negative thought. Oh, we think about it. Then, because we're meaning making creatures, we attach a story or perspective to it. Oh man, we start to feel, right? Then there's an emotion that comes up. And we start to feel either threatened or not, if based on if it's a positive or negative experience. And when we tend to go to a negative experience or have negative thoughts, that's our amygdala, which is the fear center in our brain, says, oh my gosh, this isn't good. And then we start thinking about all the different ways it's not good because we want to prepare for the worst case scenario. So as we're thinking, oh my gosh, like I don't feel good, I'm feeling anxious. Maybe you're going into a new area with people you've never met before. Oh my gosh, networking with strangers is the worst. I love going places with at least one person I know. Going into a room full of strangers is like, ah. So my fear center would probably be lighting up like, oh my gosh, okay, like let's suss out the room, like who feels safe enough to talk to, etc. And if you're going through that situation, you say, oh, no one's coming up to me, no one's talking to me, oh, am I not likable? Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, I'm so shy. We start attaching labels to it because we're meaning making creatures. We start identifying with that. Has anyone said, oh my gosh, you're so shy, oh my gosh, I don't like you? No. But what happens? That negative thought gets filtered through. And if we sit long enough with that negative thought, it can spiral and we can actually blow up the situation to something that it never was. So you're wondering, okay, well, since we all struggle with this, what do I do? How do I deal with these negative thoughts? So I want to give you a couple of questions to think through as you are challenging your negative thoughts. And this comes with practice, like any muscle that you build. I recently started going to the gym again. Yay me. Started going back to the gym again. I haven't been in 3 months, which is like, and I mean, not going to the gym, whatever. But I also used to be a preschool teacher and I was in grad school. So I was running left and right, always on my feet, kind of getting exercise daily. All of that stopped. And now I'm working in private practice where I sit on my tush a lot more. And so I realized, oh my gosh, I'm like not as in shape as I used to be. I'm like not sleeping as good, all of that stuff. So I went back to the gym. That first day at the gym was horrible. I literally was like, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. I'm so dizzy. This is not fun. This is so hard. Oh my gosh, this is the worst, right? Those negative thoughts. And my husband's like, you just gotta be consistent. Like that's the only way you're gonna start to feel better. Yeah, I know. And so now fast forwarding to, I went to the gym 2 days ago and I actually enjoyed it because I had been consistent, because I had trained that muscle, right? I had built up my cardio, all of those things, and my stamina to endure through that gym experience. And I'm actually experiencing the positive benefits of it now. Challenging negative thoughts are just like that. Sorry, that's not what you want to hear. But a couple questions to assess the thought. When the thought comes in your brain, first question to ask yourself is there any substantial evidence for my thought? Right? You walk into that room of strangers. Has anyone said anything negative to me? No. Has anyone, brought that out, to me? No. So there's not really much evidence for that thought of people, everyone thinking that I'm shy or everyone thinking that I'm not desirable, things like that. Number 2, is there any evidence contrary to my thought? Okay, so if you go in that situation again, you're in the room, maybe someone smiles at you or someone says, hey, how are you doing, right? Hey, there's some contrary evidence. That person seems friendly, seems like they like me. Someone say, hey, good to see you, right? So that doesn't mean that everybody's thinking this thought. Number 3, am I attempting to interpret the situation without all the evidence? right? We're meaning-making creatures. What story am I attaching it to this situation without knowing all the factors? And what's that doing for me? Number 4, what would a friend think about this situation? And this one I find to be the most helpful. Thinking about, like, if my best friend Malcolm was sitting there with me, he'd be like, yo, you're tripping. Like, you're fine, dude. Like, calm down. Like, everything's good. Like, just relax. Like, you're just nervous, right? So think about a good friend. What would they say to you in that situation about yourself? They'd probably say, you're amazing, man. You're wonderful. Like, everybody likes you. Things like that. Number 5, if I looked at the situation positively, how is it different, right? Because we're meaning-making creatures, we get to decide what meaning we want to attach to the situation. So I could go back into that room and think, hey, you know what? I'm doing something I have never done before. I'm challenging myself. I'm growing in the area of getting comfortable with strangers. And this is a good opportunity for me to do that. Then I start to feel like, okay, it's an opportunity. It's not something that I did wrong. It's something that I can practice. And it's okay if it doesn't come out right. And last one, will this matter a year from now or 5 years from now? Probably not. How many situations have you walked into the room and you felt nervous about? Do you still think about those situations? I mean, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But 5 years from now, like, do you still think about the things that happened to you in middle school or in elementary school? Like, I can barely remember those things. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, right? I've moved on. And our brains are also developed to be able to move on through situations, especially if they're minor anxiety ridden situations, such as walking into a room full of strangers. So, all of that being said, challenging negative thoughts, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's so easy to do it. Just like, yeah, go through the questions, everything's good. Because we're all different people. We've all gone through different life experiences, some more challenging than others, that can make situations feel very threatening, like really threatening. Like, yo, if I'm myself in this situation, I've been in this situation before, and like it didn't turn out well, that can be a very real fear. What I want to challenge you to do is to reframe that, right? To reframe the negative thought. Sometimes it is a real situation. Most of the times it is our thoughts that are controlling our life. So think about how to reframe that thought. Think about what a good friend would say to you, or even call a friend. It's, oh my gosh, I'm dealing with this. Like, tell me it's all in my head. And they're probably going to say, yeah, it is. So thinking about challenging those thoughts, it's you versus you, right? You're in this constant battle for yourself. I want to leave you with this little anecdote. You might have heard it. It goes like this. A kid goes up to his grandpa and says, hey, if there's a good wolf and a bad wolf, which one wins? And the grandfather says, the one that you feed. So I want to leave you all with that. What are you going to feed? Are you going to feed those positive thoughts and create and attach positive meaning making to your experiences? Or are you going to feed the negative ones? And the one you feed the most is the one that's going to win. I encourage you to feed the good one and feed those positive thoughts. If you are in need, as I said earlier, of a therapist, please check out those links. I want to know what you got out of this Mental Health Miss Day 1, challenging negative thoughts. Is this something you struggle with? Is this something you deal with? Tag someone below who needs to hear this as well, and subscribe and stay tuned for more Mental Health Miss drops for the month. All right. Thanks for tuning in.